Imagine if we could step back in time and see a medieval castle exactly as it stood in its prime. Every tower intact, every battlement preserved, every hall still resonating with the power of ages past. At Warwick Castle, we can do exactly that, for it stands today as one of Britain's most perfectly preserved medieval fortresses. Yet this priceless glimpse into history almost vanished forever when fire threatened to devour 9 centuries of history in a single night. Today, we tell the story of how one of England's mightiest castles faced its greatest enemy, not from invading armies, but from flames that nearly erased one of history's most remarkable survivors. Warwick Castle rises from the countryside of Warwickshire, England, its walls containing almost 11 centuries of British history, each stone marking a chapter in the nation's journey from Saxon rule through Norman conquest and beyond. In 1914, Ethel-fled, daughter of Alfred the Great, established the first fortification on this strategic hilltop, choosing the location for its commanding views across the fertile Avon Valley. As the Lady of the Mercians, she proved herself far more than a nobleman's daughter. She was a military commander who understood that England's future security depended on a network of well-positioned strongholds, carefully placed to control key trading routes and river crossings. Her burhs, fortified settlements, formed a protective chain across Mercia, defending against Danish raids while establishing centres of power that would influence English history for generations, creating the foundation for modern towns and cities. While medieval noblewomen typically managed households, Ethel-fled led armies and designed fortresses, earning such respect that chronicles from other lands referred to her as Queen, a title that reflected her unprecedented authority in an era when women rarely held direct power or military command. The Norman conquest of 1066 brought sweeping changes to England's landscape, and in 1068, William the Conqueror ordered Warwick's transformation into a motte and bailey castle, a design that would become the signature of Norman control across Britain, marking the dawn of a new architectural age. From its position on a sandstone bluff above the River Avon, the wooden tower rose atop an earthen mound, overlooking the surrounding territory like a warden guarding precious lands, its presence a constant reminder of Norman supremacy. This architectural evolution marked more than just military strategy. It represented a profound political shift, altering the balance of power throughout the English Midlands. The castle's construction required destroying 4 houses belonging to the Abbot of Coventry, sending an unmistakable message that Norman authority now outranked traditional English power structures, forever changing the regional dynamics. The site's natural advantages were clear. The River Avon provided defence along one edge, while a deep moat protected the remaining sides, creating an almost impregnable position. Within the bailey, soldiers gathered and supplies were stockpiled, creating a self-contained military community capable of withstanding siege while protecting Norman influence throughout the region, supporting William's campaign to secure his newly conquered kingdom. Though efficient for rapid construction, the wooden motte and bailey design represented only the first chapter in Warwick Castle's story, setting the stage for centuries of architectural evolution. The timber palisades that crowned the motte served their immediate purpose, but Norman ambitions reached far higher as each generation sought to strengthen and expand the fortress. Under the governance of the de Beaumont family, who claimed the title Earls of Warwick, the castle began its transformation from wood to stone, ushering in an age of grand military architecture. As the Middle Ages progressed, this fortress would grow into one of England's mightiest strongholds, its towers reaching skyward and stone walls expanding to create an impregnable seat of power that would shape the destiny of medieval England. The stones of Warwick Castle tell a story of architectural innovation, each new addition reflecting the evolving ambitions of its powerful Beauchamp earls. Between 1330 and 1360, Thomas de Beauchamp, 11th Earl of Warwick, commissioned Caesar's Tower, a masterpiece of Anglo-French design that would transform the castle's defensive capabilities and residential grandeur. Rising 44.8 metres above the River Avon, Caesar's Tower showcased innovative military architecture with its unique double parapet system, allowing defenders to rain projectiles upon attackers from two different heights while remaining protected behind stone battlements. The tower's basement held a particularly grim feature, a dungeon whose construction local legends claim was funded by ransoms collected from French nobles captured at the Battle of Poitiers in 1356. Deep within this dungeon lay an oubliette, a bottle-shaped pit where prisoners would be lowered and forgotten. Its name derived from the French word meaning to forget, while above it, the tower's residential chambers featured fine stone carvings and carefully planned living spaces. By 1395, Guy's Tower joined the castle's impressive skyline, its 12-sided design rising 39 metres and housing 5 stories of increasingly luxurious chambers, each floor's height and window size growing more generous as they ascended. The tower's innovative design included a cleverly engineered spiral staircase, its steps cut from solid stone blocks that wrapped around a central newel pot, allowing servants to move efficiently between floors while maintaining the social hierarchy of medieval life. Murder holes punctuated the ceilings of both towers' entrance passages, allowing defenders to pour scalding water, burning oil, or loose stones onto any attackers who breached the outer defences. Around 1450, the castle received its most sophisticated defensive upgrade, a new gatehouse and barbican system that created a series of deadly obstacles for potential attackers, including multiple drawbridges, iron-grated portcullises, and arrow loops positioned to create deadly crossfire zones. The gatehouse itself represented a breakthrough in military engineering, featuring a unique double tower design that allowed defenders to operate the drawbridge mechanism from 2 protected positions, while also housing the castle's main administrative offices. Above the gatehouse, the Beauchamps added private chambers decorated with elaborate stone tracery and equipped with guard robes, private toilets that were a luxury in medieval times. During the 16th century, the castle's south front underwent extensive reinforcement to counter the growing threat of artillery, with walls thickened to absorb cannon fire and arrow loops modified into gun ports. The addition of the spy tower during this period marked a shift in defensive strategy, its height and position offering clear views across the surrounding countryside while also providing additional luxurious accommodation for important guests. Elaborate fireplaces were installed throughout the towers during this renovation, their chimney flues cleverly hidden within the thick walls to maintain the castle's imposing external appearance while improving interior comfort. As medieval warfare gave way to Renaissance politics, these defensive features evolved into backdrops for spectacular entertainment. The Great Hall's construction would soon begin, marking Warwick Castle's transformation from a military stronghold into one of England's most impressive noble residences. As medieval warfare faded into memory, Warwick Castle shed its militant exterior for a new role as one of England's most prestigious noble residences, its transformation guided by the ambitious Greville family. The most dramatic change began in 1749 when Francis Greville commissioned Lancelot Capability Brown, England's master gardener, to reimagine the castle's surroundings. Brown's artistic vision transformed the defensive landscape into a masterpiece of natural design, where carefully sculpted hills rolled towards serene lakes and strategically planted trees framed views of the ancient fortress. Inside the castle walls, the Grevilles, newly elevated to Earls of Warwick in 1759, filled their rooms with priceless artworks, exotic furnishings, and lavish decorations befitting their status among England's most prestigious families. Yet, this golden age of transformation faced its greatest challenge on the 3rd of December 1871, when flames erupted in Lady Warwick's apartments above the library, sparked by an under-butler's desperate attempt to hide his theft. The fire, discovered at 2 a.m., quickly overwhelmed the local fire brigades from Warwick and Leamington, their efforts hampered by insufficient water pressure and the castle's imposing height. Smoke and flames consumed the Great Hall and several private apartments, though miraculously the castle's external walls stood firm and the precious state apartments escaped destruction. The nation watched in horror as one of England's most beloved landmarks teetered on the brink of ruin, but the public's response proved as magnificent as the castle itself. Donations poured in from across the country, eventually totaling £9,651, an extraordinary sum for the time. Renowned architect Anthony Salvin took charge of the restoration in March 1872, beginning a 3-year project that would blend medieval authenticity with Victorian innovation. Under Salvin's guidance, the Great Hall rose again from the ashes, its medieval grandeur enhanced by subtle Victorian refinements that marked a new chapter in the castle's architectural story. The Greville family seized this opportunity to further modernise their ancestral home, adding contemporary comforts while carefully preserving the castle's historic character. Gothic features appeared throughout the grounds, creating romantic vistas that transformed the medieval fortress into a picturesque vision of aristocratic splendour. The restored castle emerged as the perfect setting for elaborate social gatherings, where England's elite would marvel at the seamless blend of ancient grandeur and modern luxury. Each room told its own story, from the state apartments with their priceless artworks to the newly restored Great Hall, where medieval armour gleamed beneath Victorian chandeliers. As the 19th century drew to a close, Warwick Castle stood as a testament to successful preservation and adaptation, its walls now guarding not against armies, but protecting centuries of English heritage. This magnificent transformation would set the stage for the castle's next adventure, as the dawn of modern tourism would soon open its doors to visitors from across the globe. The year 1978 marked a revolutionary moment in Warwick Castle's long history, as the ancient fortress passed from aristocratic hands to the Tussauds Group, transforming from a private noble residence into one of Britain's most celebrated tourist destinations. Under Tussauds' stewardship, the castle's great halls and chambers came alive with innovative displays, including meticulously crafted wax figures that transported visitors back to 1898, when Frances, Countess of Warwick, hosted legendary weekend parties for England's social elite. The castle's remarkable collection of armour, second only to the Tower of London's, gleamed in carefully designed exhibitions that balanced historical accuracy with public accessibility. Tussauds' ambitious restoration programs breathed new life into centuries-old stonework, while their creative installations invited modern families to step into living history, making medieval architecture relevant for contemporary audiences. In 2007, a new chapter began as the Tussauds Group merged with Merlin Entertainments under the Blackstone Group's ownership, soon followed by the castle's sale to the Prestbury Group, though Merlin retained operational control through a 35-year renewable lease. This complex arrangement proved beneficial for the castle's preservation, as Merlin continued investing in both historical authenticity and visitor experience, while Prestbury managed the valuable property assets. The most ambitious restoration project in the castle's modern history began with the South Front Restoration and Conservation Programme, a monumental undertaking that would span 38 years and cost over £25 million. Master craftsmen worked throughout these decades to repair and restore the iconic South Front overlooking the River Avon, their tools echoing those of medieval builders as they carefully preserved every architectural detail. The final phase of this massive project, completed in 2021, required £900,000 for intricate stonemasonry work, specialised lead work and delicate window repairs, each element demanding exceptional skill and historical knowledge. Merlin's commitment to preservation continued into 2022 with a £500,000 investment announcement, focusing on the courtyard's west curtain wall and essential repairs to the stable's roof and the castle's original sash windows. Specialist heritage architects Rodney Melville and Partners now oversee each restoration project, ensuring that every repair honours the castle's architectural legacy while preparing it for future generations. Modern conservation techniques allow these experts to preserve centuries-old craftsmanship while subtly incorporating contemporary materials and methods that will protect the structure for centuries to come. Each restoration project reveals new secrets about the castle's construction, as conservators discover original building techniques and historical modifications hidden within the ancient walls. Visitors today experience a castle that bridges centuries, where carefully preserved medieval architecture meets world-class entertainment and where every stone tells a story of English history. As Warwick Castle strides confidently into the future, balancing preservation with innovation, it continues to evolve. Technology now enhances rather than replaces history, as virtual reality tours and digital reconstructions help visitors understand how this magnificent fortress has grown and changed across nearly 11 centuries of English history. And now, we'd love to see you in the comments. Have you visited Warwick Castle, or would you like to? We look forward to hearing from you, and thanks again for joining us for another episode of Old Money Mansions. Cheers, until the next episode.